I'm going to show you how to create these 3 beautiful Valentine's Day cards so you can create something special and unique for your Valentine. I'm using watercolor paint today, but you could totally do this using regular acrylic or craft paint. Hey friends, my name is Lisa and I'm your go-to gal for all things watercolor painting and DIY crafting, and this is Our Gray House. This video is part of a playlist and I'm joining some amazing friends to share with you some great card making ideas. I'll have the links to the channels of the Grace Life DIY Home Decor, Jennifer at Home, Barbie Daily Rural Life in the Valley, Sandy Lynn's Home and Garden, and Z9 Designs linked down below, so be sure and check them out after you watch my video. Now let's stop talking about it and let's start being about it and let's get to creating. Pull out your watercolor paints, or like I said earlier, you could totally use regular acrylic or craft paint. And I'm going to be using my Myliang palette, and I gave them a spritz of water to reactivate them. I'm mixing together some yellows and some browns, and this is one of those things that you just have to mix it until it kind of looks like the color of chicken nuggets and it feels right to you. So I sketched out 2 chicken nuggets, and I had seen a card on Etsy, and I'm basically just recreating it. And I'll link the Etsy card below, so if you want to buy one, you'll have the info, because it really is adorable, and who doesn't love a cute pun? And if you're feeling creative though, and you want to try to make this card, but you think to yourself, I don't know how to draw nuggets. Let me tell you, nuggets are easy. They're just basically rectangular-ish shaped, and they don't have to be perfect. In fact, they shouldn't be perfect. And they don't have to be rectangles either. They could be wonky ovals or blobs. You could just do that. So I started off with a light yellowish wash, and I'm going to build up the color and add depth layers. And when it comes to watercolor, you always paint light to dark, and that's how you create more interest and your painting won't seem flat. Now my style tends to be illustrative, kind of fun and playful, so with my nuggets, I'm definitely not trying for realism. I'm just trying to make a chicken nugget color and add layers until I'm pleased with how it looks. And I really love to add pen detail, so that's what I'm doing here. And I'm using a micron pen, and if you're interested in the supplies that I'm using, they're all going to be linked below. Also, you have to add the words Nugs and Kisses, because that's funny. And I did that in pen. I mean, who doesn't love a good pun? This turned out so stinking cute, and I really, really love it. So it's probably my favorite. Now for this card, it is 2 cinnamon rolls, and I sketched them on, and I'm just using my kneaded eraser to lighten up the sketch so it's not so dark. And if you don't know how to draw a cinnamon roll, it's another rectangular-ish shaped object with a slightly curved top. And then you add the swirl line and some wavy lines for the icing, and you're set. I practiced them before sketching them on the card though. So again, I'm starting with a light wash, and we are still painting light to dark. This cinnamon roll needs to look like it has icing, and while you could use like white gouache or Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White to create that, you can also just not paint over the area and preserve the white. So I sped this part up pretty fast just to show you. It's all about adding the layers and building up the painting. If you're using acrylic paint, it's more opaque, so you don't have to build up the color. For this piece, I would just take a really light cream color for the base of the cinnamon roll and add some darker brown shades to add the depth and shadows of the cinnamon roll. And with acrylic paint, you can just use white for the icing, and that actually makes it easier, in my opinion, to achieve the look you want. And I probably should have done this in acrylic paint to show you, but I didn't think about that till now. So you get the idea, though. I do finish this one off with some pen detail, and the words nice buns, and some hearts at the top. And this is how it turned out. Again, super cute and a fun pun. This last one is also done with watercolor, but can absolutely be done with acrylic. I just take a piece of paper and I use some inexpensive sketch pad paper that I got from Daiso, which is a Japanese dollar store, and I painted it with Valentine colors like pinks, reds, and purples, and I just painted randomly. And I let it dry. And then I used my paper cutter to cut it into strips. And I think I did 1/2-inch strips, but you could do smaller or larger depending on the size of the card that you're doing. And what we're going to do is we're going to weave these pieces together. And I just put some masking tape down, sticky side up, and I put half of the strips down on there. And then I did mix up the strips so that there was not like an obvious pattern to them. And then I took the other half strip by strip and I wove them onto the other pieces, doing over and under with one strip. And then the next one I do the under and over. I mean, it's weaving. And I think you can kind of figure out how to do all that. I do use a glue stick to secure it all together. And then I take a vintage heart-shaped pan and I use that to trace the shape onto the back of the woven paper. And for this part, you could use any size heart that fit your card, or if you're just making an art piece, you could actually make a large heart. This is one reason I tried to glue it all down, because when you go back to cut it, you don't want the woven strips to come undone. And then I just cut it out. And if you want to make more than one heart, you can do that too. And then I glue it onto the front of the card, and I must have looked like I needed some supervision or something because Captain's getting all up in my business. And I felt like it needed more, so I started to add gold pen detail, but the gold pen wasn't penning. So I got out my favorite beam paint. I think it's called Fairy Tale Gold, and I'm not sure, but it's a really pretty color, and I use that to outline the heart. And then I take this sheet of stamps and this clear acrylic block that I got from Dollar Tree, and I use the little one that says "You Are Loved," and I stamp that onto the front of the card. And it turns out pretty darn cute. This would also be a fun kids craft that you could do and have a sweet card at the end. Thanks so much for hanging out with me in my creative space. If you're as obsessed with watercolor painting, DIY crafts, and creative projects as I am, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. I've got some other videos that you can check out, and I hope you come back so we can chat some more. You can follow me everywhere by searching Our Gray House, but just don't follow me in real life though, because that's creepy. Bye!